Pigs in Space was a recurring sketch that played on the popular Muppet Show, a parody of sci-fi shows like Star Trek and Lost in Space. In 1983, Atari released a game based off the sketches for the 2600. Pigs in Space is essentially 3 games in one. You select which one you want to play by picking one of the 3 pig heads on the title screen. The first one is a blatant Space Invaders ripoff called Chicken Invaders. You play as Captain Link Hogthrob, who is being bombarded by quote-unquote space chickens, who are dropping their devastating eggs, and you must thwart them off by chucking sausages at them. Shit, talking about this game is making me hungry. The big differences between this game and Space Invaders is that the enemies, or space chickens, don't pick up speed until you're down to the last one, and there are no bunkers in between you and the chickens, which opens up the space for you to attack, but also gives you nowhere to hide. It really does take away an element of the game. That being said, the controls are good, and the spinning gonzo head up top that represents the mystery ship looks great and is smoothly animated with its spinning motion. It doesn't measure up to the game that it's paying homage to. It's essentially a diet, caffeine-free Space Invaders that's the store brand, and it's not going to score any points for originality, but it's playable. The second game is also a carbon copy called Pastaroids, which isn't steroid-laced pasta. Nor is it a copy of Asteroids, as the title implies. It's actually copying Freeway, which in and of itself was already borrowing a lot from Frogger. You're Miss Piggy, first mate of the USS Swinetrek, and you get caught up in a storm of spaghetti and meatballs. You have to get through the storm to board the Swinetrek before it leaves port. Much like Freeway, you won't die or respawn at the bottom of the screen when hit. You just get bumped back a bit. And when you get to the other side, you have to actually make contact with the ship, so you could still run out of time even if you make it all the way across. One mechanic they did add to the mix is the ability to karate chop meatballs, which you have to execute when the meatball makes contact with you from the side. It doesn't take long for this to wear thin at all. Much like Chicken Invaders, the game's difficulty doesn't increase as you progress, so it gets pretty monotonous fairly quickly. The third and final game is Escape from Planet of the Gonzoids, which isn't a copy of any one particular game, but with so many other space shooters at the time, it might as well be. Playing as Captain Strange Pork this time, you fly the Swinetrek through what's described as a pizza mine. These little dipshits called Gonzoids that are perched over on the side and tossing pizzas at you. The opening between their attacks are short-lived, so it's always in your best interest to kill the Gonzoids that do get in your way. The aiming system, however, is a little weird. Your projectile does this awkward button hook pattern, so you have to line up just off-center from your target, but you also have to be sure you're firing in the right direction, which is all predicated on the last direction you moved the ship. So for example, if you last move toward the left, your bullet will curl left, and the same goes for the right. Now this boomerang trajectory is useful, but it's the only way to get a hit on any of these pricks, because guess what? They're all lined up behind walls you can't shoot through. On top of that, it's awkward to position yourself a lot of the time. Let's say you're shifting to the right, and you want to hit this guy on your left. You're already coming from the left, so you have to overshoot to the right on purpose, and then move left a bit to align yourself correctly. It feels so fucking unnatural. And on top of that, your own bullets can kill you on their way back. This makes the whole awkwardness of positioning yourself even more awkward. All of this combined make for a sloppy game, and it's by far the worst of the 3. Aside from the lack of originality and the mediocre at best gameplay, another thing this game lacks is variety. Sure, there are 3 different games, but there are no variations with any of them. The difficulty never ramps up or changes, save for that one spot at the end of Chicken Invaders, and after you beat a stage, you're sent right back to the main menu, so there's really no advancement. Yeah, your point total is carried over, but other than that, what's the difference? I know that this was marketed toward younger kids, but really your kid just might as well be playing Space Invaders, Freeway, or insert space shooter game title here.
Pink man,